ReeferMEDness, Cannabits. We're still talking about medical cannabis, and this time we're going to talk about the roots of consumption. Consuming cannabis through the lungs, inhaling cannabis, is the fastest route in and affects the brain the fastest. It also has the shortest duration as being in your body. Smoking flower is combusting the flower, so you're getting some harsh fumes into your lungs, and there is a perception that's going to cause lung damage in the future. Vaping is at higher heats, and it's not actually consuming the plant. Combustion of the plant is taking the vapor off the plant. You get more bioavailability through a vape, but you have to be careful. If you're vaping solutions that have been made in a lab, you're not getting the full plant spectrum. Medical cannabis is most often ingested via the stomach. It's important to understand that when you do consume cannabis this way, that it will take time for the effect to be felt. So be careful that you don't over-medicate. This is one of the most common reasons for people to end up in an emergency department, is that they ate too much cannabis and they greened out. When you consume cannabis orally, you can expect between 30 minutes to an hour and a half for the effect to come. It will also last the longest. So depending on what you're taking, what cannabinoids you're taking, you can expect 4 to 8 hours of the effect. When you buy your cannabis from a licensed producer in capsule form or tincture form, you are well aware of the cannabinoid values, and you should follow your prescriber's methods until you find your therapeutic dose. If you're making cannabis edibles at home and you're not aware of your cannabinoid values, go low and go slow. Don't surprise yourself by consuming too much. Topical application is targeted application. People do not consume cannabis via the skin to get high. These are lotions and balms that are specifically used for sore muscles, for cold sores, or for skin issues, and it's absorbed that way. When you use this method of consuming cannabis, you put the oil or you spray under your tongue and you allow it to last there as long as you can. Good 20 seconds, good 30 seconds. And afterwards, you take a little water, you rinse it around in your mouth. You want to coat the inside of the oral cavity with your medicine. This application is faster than ingesting it, and it's a little slower than smoking it. Once again, you titrate the amount you take following your prescriber's methods. So suppositories are universally used when people are unable to swallow or they find it very difficult to consume cannabis another way. It can get you high, this type of method, if the THC is high enough, but normally people that do recreational cannabis do not use suppositories. Transdermal patches are sort of like a lotion or a balm, but they stick over the area, and the cannabinoids are released usually slowly into the bloodstream that way. It's nice to have a choice. But if you're considering using medical cannabis for an ailment, ensure that you talk to your prescriber and find a prescriber that is knowledgeable about cannabis. Or also, you can educate yourself. These cannabits are tiny little bits of information that should entice you to go deeper into our web pages or other people's web pages and find out more about how these methods are different and how they might help you specifically. Cannabis is very unique in that the consumer, the patient, the client is ultimately responsible for finding their dosing and their needs. So it's very difficult for a prescriber to tell you how much and how often to use your cannabis. So this is why it's important to get educated. Ensure that you understand the cannabis you're using and understand the methods that you're consuming it. Thank you for checking out Cannabits.